Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and joining me today are...
This has been Jake.
Wait, it has been.
I mean,
You calling me a has-been?
Just go with it.
Fuck, this is Chris.
And I'm currently possessed by Ames.
What? But you are... So you're just you.
That's what you think.
Oh.
If you're wondering why Ames is making that joke, you won't have to wonder for long. Today is episode 259, which means... Chris, you get to say 269, I think. Nice.
I get to say 420.
No, you don't.
Sweet.
No?
No, you do, because it's divisible by 4.
Yeah, because it's divisible by 4, and I will not be making any jokes.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
she doesn't
ruined
actually
everything.
find your jokes very fucking funny,
Well, nobody
okay?
does, really.
Let's be honest,
I do!
Brown eye.
420 jokes are just, I don't know, kind of lazy at this point. Elon Musk ruined them for everybody.
So are 69 jokes, though.
And fisting jokes.
So tell us about Warlord, Kate.
Yeah.
So we're here today to talk about 2 episodes of Star Trek The Voyager. And the first one is season 3, episode 10, Warlord. So in Warlord, we open, God, so horribly on, I almost called him Felix.
Felix the cat.
We open on Neelix's fucking, what I assume is
Foot
his
umox.
own face.
Foot umox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Didn't need that.
No.
Neelix is getting his foots rubbed. They've created a new holodeck paradise, so we're not going to hang out in Fontaines or whatever the fuck.
Sandrines.
Sandrines, whatever. Vic Fontaines is way better anyway.
And Harry Kim is like, let's add fuck puppets to this. Harry,
We need more
what?
fuck puppets. We need different drinks, different music.
Let's change the whole thing.
Yeah, this would be great if it was more like not at all like it's like. And
We have a pool table.
everybody's starting to enjoy themselves when there's like a red alert or some shit, and they got to go to the senior officers needed on the bridge because there's a ship that the Voyager has found that has been attacked. It's literally on fire in space. Is that possible?
Very briefly.
Depends on what's burning.
Yeah, like if oxygen is actively belching out of the ship, it could burn for a second before it goes out.
I'm glad that I'm asking the important questions and that you guys have the answers.
I liked when the Gulf of Mexico was on fire randomly.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was a good time.
Sounds awesome. But yeah, the ship is on fire, and they don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. But first, they'll beam the 3 occupants off of it, all of which have serious radiation injuries, one of whom, Tyrion, does a die.
Whoops.
But not, we find out, before putting his consciousness into Kes.
Katra.
Don't only Vulcans have Katra?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But we don't know this immediately. Instead, what we know immediately is that Neelix has a sad because
Right.
Kes has been hanging out with their new friends on the ship and stood him up for lunch. So we got to hear whiny Neelix calling Kes to their lunch. And then, for a second, because we didn't know yet, I thought Kes was finally being like, I'm fucking sick of you controlling my fucking life! And I was like, yes, bitch! Tell him! But
Also, I have been fucking Paris. Take that.
Well, I mean, wouldn't be so okay with her cheating, but if she finally was like, Neelix, you really are fucking smothering the shit out of me, I'd be like, good for you, girl. But it's not her. It's Tyrion in her body. And so Neelix, when he finds that out, gets to just go, oh, cool, I am a perfectly normal guy that doesn't need to work on any of my problems. Anyway, why would Tyrion take over Kes's body? Well, it turns out that they want to steal a ship and go back to his home planet and murder the first Autarch, which I guess is like a king. It seems like there's a succession thing. He kills the Autarch and the first Autarch and takes his place and starts like canoodling with the son, the princeling, but the princeling who's not the next in line, because the princeling who is next in line is now on Voyager being like, I'm sorry about your crew person Kes, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill them and take my place as Autarch. And Janeway, you're gonna do what I say. And Janeway's like, LOL, no.
Janeway's like, an excuse to break the Prime Directive. Yes, please.
My favorite. What is actually the name of the planet that they're on?
The Ionian?
The Ilari?
That sounds maybe right.
Is that the planet or the aliens?
I think that's the people. I don't know if we...
So.
The planet... let's
Maybe
say
they're from Elar.
Ilaria, something
yeah,
like
Ilaria,
that.
Prime.
Sure.
Why not? Anyway...
Point two.
So, Tyrion is, like, changing government. Actually, aside from being totally crazy, it sounds like he wants everybody to have, like, a chicken in every pot, and new libraries, and...
I think that's the Kess seeping through.
Oh, is that what
Kess
it is?
would make a great autarch.
She would. Well, no, the garden was her, but I feel like
Yeah.
the library might have just been him.
Well,
I don't
we can
really
get to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, point is, things are going poorly on Ilaria or whatever because Kess is trying with all her might to fight through Tyrion and take over and get out and run amok and stuff. The Voyager sends in Tuvok to try to use a magical forehead device to get rid of Tyrion's consciousness. He fails and Kess bitch slaps him across the room.
Yeah.
Which was insane. And then, I don't really remember how they get there ultimately, but the Voyager shows up, they get on board, and I almost called him Quark, Jesus Christ. Neelix weasels his way into the mission, and, you think to yourself, oh, he's going to try to appeal to Kess and be like, Sweeting, it's me, look at my disgusting feet. I love you. Come out. Be strong. But instead, he fucking shoots her with a fucking,
Phaser.
that thing. He fucking shoots her with a phaser, which anyone could have done. And they think, yes, finally, we have gotten rid of Tyrion. But nope, Kess comes to and is like, actually, he's still in. He jumps to the other princeling into, Amarin.
And there's a lot of people.
There's
in this
so many
episode.
people. I believe it's
way too many.
Amarin, I'm pretty sure, is the one.
Yes.
Then they just put the magical Tyrion destroyer box on his head, and the day is saved. The end.
And Tuvok pretends there's going to be any ramifications of this.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do some heavy meditation.
Yeah, he says, well, because Kess is really troubled by this. As we saw, like, Harry really troubled by previous episodes. And then you're like, no, Carrie, none of this counts because we're an episodic television show.
Yep.
But I'm going to wait and see because I know at least one thing comes of this. So we'll see.
Well, this is a week of, like, repercussions being foretold and actually happening, so maybe there's hope.
I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, I really hated jealous, possessive, gross Neelix, and I thought we were done with him.
Yeah.
I mean, being fair, calling to say you're super late for something, are you all right? Are you coming?
That's not
What's
what
up?
he... Yeah, if he had said that, though, instead of, did you forget about our date? Like, I ask you guys every so often, hey guys, what's your ETA? And that's how you phrase that, instead of, you're late to the thing!
And, like... Yeah, and they're having the thing at the same place that he goes to get his hand jobs.
Foot jobs.
Yeah, God, this fucking...
Which is like, that's a little awkward. Or, like...
Yeah.
Is someone gonna jerk his feet off while they have lunch?
They've got great burgers at the brothel I frequent. Let's...
Yeah, I hate everything about this. I never thought I'd say I want Sandrine's back, but I want Sandrine's back. This is such just a fucking Rick Berman wet dream.
The drinks looked good.
The bathing suits were nice.
Yeah, I hated it.
Oh, I liked B'Elanna's little fuck toys bathing suit. It was so pretty. It was like pastel and strappy.
Weird.
The straps were fun.
No,
B'Elanna had a good
I love
bathing
the
suit
straps.
too.
I did like
She looked
B'Elanna's
hot.
bathing suit.
B'Elanna always looks great. She's B'Elanna.
The funny thing is, like, because, Kim claims, we don't believe you, Kim, that this is the volleyball championship of team.
Yeah,
of
2060 something.
2060 something.
22 something.
2069.
And my comment is, wow, the volleyball uniforms sure have improved.
True, that's
Well,
sad.
it's beach volleyball.
No, I think she
But
means
they're
it.
one
they're
pieces
usually
instead of
they're
fucking
usually
bikinis.
way smaller
Oh, really?
in Olympics. Yeah.
Actually, if they were the 2260s, there is a non-zero chance that the real women they're based on fucked Jim Kirk.
He loved volleyball.
He
Big
What?
fan.
really did.
What?
Because the original Trek was set around the 2260s.
I mean, but that's the thing though. Like, Kirk wasn't going around just banging anybody.
Bones was. We heard
That's
Bones
true.
banged some gymnasts.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that Bones gave them the bone. If you
I'm
know what
here
I mean.
for this.
I'd be alright with that.
What this episode needed was a lot more scenes between Kess and
Tyrion?
because that scene was great.
That was cool. I liked that.
I
Yeah,
think
because she finally actually seemed like the badass that they were trying to make her be, like, as him. Because I feel like they wanted Nana Visitor as Intendant Kira to be Kess, But Kess's actress is not capable of that, I think.
I didn't mind Tyrion possessed Cass. I thought she was interesting enough.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I was impressed because I did not think that the actress had what she did in her. So I was impressed in that sense. But it still wasn't as good as I would have.
Oh,
it wasn't
Intended Cure.
It wasn't as good as Intended Cure. It wasn't as good as like in terms of transformation.
Was it as good as Vantica?
Oh God. At least she didn't sound like Bella Lugosi.
Yeah, there you go. In terms of
Oh
like,
God, is that the one where Julian?
Yeah.
Oh no. the one where Julian wants to suck your blood. Yeah.
in terms of character transformations, possessed. I guess it wasn't really possession, but a couple weeks ago we talked about when B'Elanna was in the dream world, and like that was a really
she was really good.
That was a really believable.
Yeah.
And
Roxanne has range.
Exactly, and I think holding it up next to that episode, which was only a couple weeks ago, this one you can really see that like, okay, yeah, Jennifer Lean is not quite there.
I think we were more impressed that she could get this far because the Kess character is so restrained that you don't realize, is this Jennifer Lean how she normally talks, or is she doing a character? Yeah. So seeing that she can do something other than the very restrained, very empathic Kess is new.
Yeah, and I'd like to see this aspect. I think the character was way more interesting than Kess in terms of just her agency.
Well, I think
even though like she literally had no agency because she was trapped in her own brain, but
yeah. Well, I would even say holding up possessed Kess to pissed off in her own head Kess. Like, pissed off in her own head Kess was great.
She was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
She had a lot of motivation in that scene, which I think helped too.
Yeah, like, I think that's part of the reason I wanted to see more of those scenes, because it was really nice to see her getting to be Kess, but not, like, within her usual, like, sort of empathic, like...
submissive-ish.
Yeah, like, just telling this guy to go fuck himself.
Yeah,
and
like, I'm gonna legitimately destroy the fuck out of you, bro.
Like, I think it would have been especially, like you said, it does really feel like the whole point of having Neelix was so that they could have had, like, a it's me kind of scene. And you could have been going back and forth between, like, him appealing to her and then her inside her own head as things maybe start to,
Is this in the final scene? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, like...
Not the breakup scene.
Right. Going back to her in her own head is, like, maybe things start to... Because it's a mindscape, so maybe, like, shit starts to break down as a representation of the larger scene.
What irritated me a lot about this, and it ties in, is that she still needed to be rescued. That, like, all episode, they're building up this idea that, she's powerful, she's going to be able to break through. And even having that scene where she chews out the guy, I was really expecting, or I was really hoping that the final resolution was going to be that she would somehow excise him, or she would take him over and trap him.
That's a good idea.
Some way to flip the script on him, and then maybe, oh shit,
and then he has to flee into another body or something, or
like maybe it's like, oh, okay, we're not on the planet, we're on the ship now, and the Voyager's coming, and our fleet's way more powerful than we're gonna destroy Voyager. Fuck those guys, and like right in that moment, like you see her nose starts bleeding or something.
No. Too much nose blood in this episode.
All right, eyes start bleeding.
No.
But anyway, she freaks out and orders a self-destruct or something. I don't know.
Well, even if something as simple as like maybe someone like knocks Neelix over and he drops the thing and she picks it up and puts it on herself, Although I did appreciate her then just being like, oh, he's in this guy and I want to be the one to fucking delete him.
But like,
I know you, and I know enough about you that I'm going to kill you.
I have had enough of you.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I think I enjoyed Possessed Kess well enough because it was different. Mm-hmm. But
I loved her outfit.
Oh,
that outfit, nice.
They got that part of Intendant Kira right for sure.
Both her outfits, even though, because you
I loved it. I loved the like long vest with the little dress. She looked so cute.
They've been dressing her really well for a while now.
Yeah,
I can't think of an outfit on Kess that I haven't been like, yeah, that's cute on her.
I think a few of the early ones were just kind of generic Star Trek civilian and were like forgettable, but not necessarily bad.
Well, plus it was overshadowed by how bad the wig was. I feel like the wig is pretty good now. So, or it's just her real hair. Either way,
I don't think it's her real hair.
Well, regardless, at this point the hair is more believable.
Yeah, it's better than it was.
Yeah,
she's gonna have long hair pretty soon.
What?
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Long hair Cass.
Is that a season 4 thing?
Yeah, season 4 Cass. Best Cass.
Oh, she doesn't make it to season 4. Holy shit, we're already almost done with Kes?
She makes it to season 4. She does. She makes
Let's
it
not
Anyway.
spoil.
to
Let's not spoil
season
it.
4.
Because right now we've got some decent cast to play.
Yeah. Again, like,
Especially after we've been complaining that, like, the last several episodes have just been kind of very humdrummy, boring Kes.
I think
Yes, Doctor.
That's the worst
Yes.
part about when they use her well, is you realize just what a short shrift they gave the character.
Because
Yeah.
she's got so much potential. I know Jacob mentioned a while ago, like, why don't we use her powers more often?
Yeah.
And then this episode threw that in his face, being like, look what the show hasn't been doing!
Yeah.
Little much, Chris.
Sorry.
Yeah, and like he kills that dude, his buddy, which was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
badass.
does the whole let's
He
like
evaded him.
let's boil Tuvok alive.
Yeah, and I think it would have been more interesting if Cass had used her instead of like the brain sucker device. If she'd used that to fight him after she.
Oh, that could have worked.
I also think it was kind of lame, just from a storytelling perspective, that the whole sequence from we put the machine on Cass's brain, and then he jumped to somebody else, and then we know who he jumped to, and now we've killed him, was all like of
3 seconds.
yeah, like there was no tension in there. It was like, okay, we've
At
rescued
least
Cass.
5 seconds, please.
Like I would have liked it if like we rescued Cass. And then we everything's better, and then we realize later that it's in the other guy.
Yeah, we could cut everything at the Paxar Resort
Yeah.
and do that instead.
Could we could cut all of the resort and add just anything else
Yeah.
there. Would have
Like,
been fine.
because here's the thing, we know that the
Kim playing
the
clarinet,
son, so
5
there were the
minutes,
two
please.
brothers. That the younger brother was the one that was trying to kind of, buddy up with Tyrion and have a threesome with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Fiance. They weren't actually married.
Oh, they weren't. And then
I don't think. Oh no, you're right there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. She does. She calls him her husband. I'm
Well,
sorry.
but that's before their game is rumbled, so that might be part of
that's
the
a good
cover.
point. Yeah, I guess I thought that it wasn't, but it doesn't matter. Go on.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
But anywho, they're trying to set up this threesome.
And the princeling is into it.
Yeah, Princeling's way into it.
Of course he is. There's 2 chicks. I mean, I know Tyrion is a dude, but Kes is a chick.
But like, I don't know, Princeling, I would have liked to see a situation where there was some more rivalry there. Like, I don't know, the whole political angle kind of fell flat to me.
Well, because, like, I mean, it sounds like the earlier guy was a dick.
Yeah.
But I also, like, this is some monarchy. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I'm not sure who I want to root for here.
Neither.
Autark Kess is the answer. She's going to
True.
establish a library.
Well, even
Everyone's gonna
that's the
have a
thing, like
guard?
Tiernan seems unstable.
Very.
But that's possibly just a matter of having his consciousness kicked from brain to brain for a couple hundred years.
Oh boy. Speaking of Tyrion being unstable, did anyone recognize that actor?
No.
Who, Tyrion?
Tyrion. Because that was our
Was he a
best
Klingon
friend.
of some kind?
That was our best
Oh
friend.
my god, was he a Kazon? Nope. Oh, not even close. Go ahead.
That was Lee McCloskey, who played Joran in Field of Fire.
Oh, Jesus!
Wait,
I don't know who that is
which...
or what that is.
That was the one where Dax has the fancy gun.
Esri Dax.
Yeah, Esri Dax.
Wait,
He
the
has
Vulcan?
the rifle. No.
Duran, right,
Duran
the-
Dax.
Murderous Dax.
Oh, that's Murderous Dax?
Yeah.
The final incarnation of Murderous Dax.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see other
Didn't
Yeah, there were
recognize
so
him
many.
at all.
Yeah, no, I did not.
But who was it that I recognized?
Oh, you recognized...
Hey, Quark. We're bad guys. We want to get Morn's money from the bank heist.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Why does he sound like Jack Nicholson?
Because that's what the character was doing the whole
Yeah,
fucking
He
really
was
was.
such a
How did I forget this?
whiny fuck in this. That was the part of it too, was like lead Princeling was just such a whiny little fuck. I wanted someone to airlock him.
Now he's been charged again, so...
That's depressing.
Oh, this poor planet.
Yeah.
The other familiar face that we'll see, who I didn't think was that great in this, was the girl who played Nori, the spouse person. Because she also played Corinna in The Visitor, Jake's Bajoran wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't think she was terribly good in either, but it wasn't distracting because the rest of the episode was great, so...
but she was only in it for a moment in that show anyway.
Yeah, and in this one, there were just a couple lines. I'm like, oh, honey.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the supporting characters in this episode weren't great. The Castellan guy...
The thing with him is...
Which guy is this?
The guy who got beamed aboard backwards and then, was...
The big guy.
The black guy.
Yeah.
Aiden, I think.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
My thing with him is, his tone of voice was such...
No, maybe not. I think that's Resh.
Oh, yeah.
Aiden got killed.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Aiden, yeah. You're right.
But he felt to me like he had been imported from a musical.
He seemed very community theater to me. That's what I was getting.
I was getting that, I'm in a musical and a song is going to break out within the next couple of lines, but a song never broke out.
I bet he's a theater actor, and that's why he...
That's what I mean, but yeah.
He seemed very line reading to me, and it was
especially
in every scene that he was in.
Yeah. Yeah, he stood out. But yeah, there was a theatrical quality for sure.
Yeah. So, I thought a lot of the supporting characters were kind of weak.
I almost wish, and then I probably wouldn't be satisfied if they did give us more of the politics on this planet, because it almost sounded like Tyrion survived a childhood illness or something.
Yeah.
They said as a child, we didn't expect you to survive, but you did, and we made fun of you a lot because you were weak and small, but then you... did he warg into somebody bigger or something? Is that the impression?
No, he actually survived and grew on his own and became a bully. And he became obsessed with his mortality once he was leader.
That's fun.
And that's how they developed the, jumpy technology.
That is very, emperor who has too much power and wants to maintain power forever.
Yeah.
That works for me.
But I never get the, it's another show and not tell. Or, a tell and not show.
A lot of it is, yeah.
About how much of a tyrant he is and yada, yada, yada.
That would have been great to, see that via,
Resh.
No, via...
the Kess's mind thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
conversations.
Okay.
You could even have her start to taunt him, maybe force up an image of little weak him. Be like, oh, so this is why you became a dick, because everyone was a dick to you, and you decided to grow up and be an asshole, and, just really tear into him. That would have been great.
Yeah. This episode had a lot of potential. I think it didn't quite nail a lot of them. The next episode we're going to talk about is another one that had a lot of potential that didn't explore what could have been more interesting. But, so it's a week of being this
what
is
a
a great
letdown
idea.
that sex scene is.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I liked Cass in this enough.
Yeah, again, I think Jennifer Lee did a great fucking job in the one scene she got with Tyrion there. And again, I think she was fun as evil, possessed Cass.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have to talk about, we didn't mention earlier, just how flagrantly the Prime Directive was kicked down a flight of fucking stairs in this episode. They didn't even pay lip service to it in this one. It was so bad.
So what's interesting, though, is that, the Dauphin comes on board and is like, I need your help, sort of. So, following him, he is, by their laws, the rightful monarch of this planet now.
Yeah, but they're still...
I think the one way you can kind of justify is say, he has Kess, and Kess has powers that your people should not have access to.
Yeah, I think I would have appreciated maybe even saying that.
Maybe.
Just because, again, there was no mention of,
And again, if that had eaten into the time on Paradise Planet,
that.
It would be okay.
Yeah, but, when you think back to, DS9, and I don't know if this episode had happened yet. Ooh, these things get confusing. They probably hadn't had, I don't know. But it's either way, we had, okay... This coup that's happening on Bajor, I literally have proof the Cardassians are fucking around with it. And the Federation just goes, Prime Directive! It's what? Meanwhile, there's a coup. Well, we have to get involved to save Cass. And it's
to reinstall this guy on the throne. Because
Yeah.
he keeps whining at us.
Oh, again, just, if you really don't want to listen to him, there is an airlock nearby, I'm sure.
Just keeps
there's
trying to
always-
murder Quark.
There's always an airlock nearby.
Really, they should have just killed everybody.
Yeah, nuke it from orbit.
It's the only way to be sure.
General Order 24. But yeah, that was just even if just once someone going so we're getting involved in the politics of the planet? Is there a way to save Kess without doing that? Also, Tyrion, maybe after you've been infiltrated once by someone wearing a mask, you should have said, new rule, guards don't wear masks.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
Later
The only reason, because I commented early, like, wow, these masks look really silly looking. And then, like, the only, like, the purpose they serve is so that Tuvok can hide among them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only purpose they serve, yikes, is for plot.
Yeah.
And not any in-world reason.
No. Because it's not like it's, a helmet like in so many of these let's replace a guard things. You could imagine there's some use to it. This is, we make our guards wear ceremonial drapes over their faces. No, we don't know how they see either.
You can usually see enough through.
Yeah, it's like a sheer material.
A material, if you will. You wouldn't. No one would.
But yeah,
But also, I feel like if you are like the monarch and you just overthrew the previous monarch, you really wouldn't have anyone having their fucking face covered, because I'd be like, anybody, anytime is going to try to kill me. Yeah. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as, I think I've been bitching several times lately about, haven't we done this before? And we have done this before, but I feel like this one has been better than a lot of them in many ways. For all its failings, it's definitely superior to the Bashir one. Frankly, a lot of the... I think the only other time we've had somebody in someone else's head and it wasn't abysmal was when Bones was possessed by Spock.
The one... What's it fucking called? Where we have Troy, Data, and Miles possessed by things was pretty
Power
good.
play.
Yeah, that one was decent.
Yeah, at some point, one of our blog activities is going to be characters possessed by things.
Yeah.
And we'll have a whole day of it. But not today. Today we have a different activity plan.
Yes.
The other thing I'll say is, in my research reading in Memory Alpha for this one, clearly there weren't enough notes, and some sad nerd had gotten a hold of, like, the call sheets for these episodes, and thought, it's important for me to transcribe all the facts from the call sheets into Memory Alpha.
Jesus Christmas.
Which I hadn't seen for a while, because I know they're terribly boring.
Kate Mulgrew ordered a Reuben sandwich.
Yeah, so there's just lists and lists of all the extras who were called what days, and which of them actually ended up aired in the episodes and not. Thanks, this nerd. But the note I wrote, which is very silly, just because I felt like reading this because it's just so innocuous, is... Day 5 of filming, lunch was served by Cynthia's Distinctive Catering at 6 p.m.
Oh.
That is a very late lunch.
Yeah.
It was probably more of a dinner at that point, I would say.
I mean, certainly any rational mind would think so. Cool, are we done with that?
I'm done with that.
How about you, Chris? Anything else?
Well... Cynthia's Distinctive Catering is still in business.
Go, Cynthia!
Nice job,
They
Cynthia.
appear to be closed Sundays, but they will be open tomorrow at 8:30 a.m.
They got any specials?
What do they got?
I don't know.
Is it just a caterer, or do they have like?
Although now it's Cynthia Brooks Distinctive Catering, so they've slightly rebranded. They do weddings, corporate and social, and since 1986.
I want them to cater my wedding.
I think
good.
that'd be really cool to have the caterer who catered
Voyager
lunch on day 5 of shooting of this episode. It would be like one of those things you could tell your grandkids about.
Imagine going to this poor woman, being like, "We'd like you to cater." And, "Oh, how'd you hear about us? Memory Alpha."
Yeah. No, imagine you went there and like, okay, well, let's design your menu. It's like, I want the exact menu that
What
you
did
served.
Jennifer Lean eat? What did Jennifer Lean
Day
eat?
5 of shooting, Warlord.
Dearie dear.
The working title was The Art of War.
That's...
They're
I don't know
both
if I think
bad.
that's better or worse.
More like the
I really-
fart of war.
Yeah. I just really am not impressed by Warlord. Like, it didn't feel right. It just feels very, like...
Well, plus he wasn't
generic.
really a warlord. He
No.
was... I mean, initially he was like,
He was just a lord.
yeah, he'd risen to power through, like, rebellion over a government, and then he was overthrown, and then he came back to re-coup, and I don't know. Like Ames has said repeatedly, Voyager is bad at titles.
Yeah, but
Real
this
bad.
is like the worst of the worst, I feel like, because it has nothing to do with anything.
Well, we
How's
have
our
more
next
war.
title?
More war in this next episode.
Oh man, this episode, I have so many feelings. So the next episode we're going to talk about today is the Q and the Gray.
That rhymed!
It did. And if you can't guess from the title, Q shows up, which is always fun. Well, okay, not always fun. Sometimes it's fun.
There were fun moments.
I actually like this episode, but they're not there yet.
Okay,
So
tell us about this episode.
this episode, so Q shows up and he's in good old Kathy Janeway's bedroom trying to get down to fuck. He's made her bed into like a bed from one of those cheap love hotels with like lots of...
Does it vibrate?
No, I was hoping it would be heart-shaped.
Son of a bitch.
I don't think it does. I don't think it vibrates. That's more of like a if you're alone. It's more of a jerking off while you're on the road type of thing, not like a fancy, tacky romance weekend with your girl person. Or boy person. Or just your person.
God entity person.
Yes, that. So anyway, he's like, hey girl, let's fuck. And she's like, nah. And he's like, okay, but like, what if I told you it's because I want to put one in you? And by put one in you, I mean, I want you to have my baby. She's like, still no. Bye.
If anything, doubly no.
Yeah, really. And I wrote down this quote because Chris laughed because I was like into it at first. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, I want you to have my baby. And I was like, God damn it, that murdered my boner so fast. I think I'm experiencing emotional blue balls. It was really upsetting. Anyway, so yeah, Q wants to have a baby with Janeway. He has a really stupid reason for it. It's because he thinks that like having a little human DNA all mixed and mingled into the Q Continuum will fix their problems. What problems, you say? Well, remember last time when Quinn killed himself and he was like, this will have serious repercussions. Turns out it did. And now everybody's at war. But Q kind of did it himself because apparently he's sort of the ringleader of this war, being like, we need to have more freedoms, which I mean, like, good for him, I guess. That's cool. But yeah, he thinks that by adding a little human spice into the Q cake is gonna perfect his souffle, I guess. I don't really know where I was going with that. Yeah, but...
Maybe it's pronounced Q-kake.
Q-kake. Yum.
How have we gone this long and never done that?
Seriously, why is this episode not called Q-kake? I just feel like...
Wow.
Gee, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. They weren't ready for that back in 1996.
Who's ready for it now?
Me! Anyway, turns out there's like a Mrs. Q. I mean, like, not officially. It's kind of more like common law, but they've been together for like 4 billion years. And it's an old friend who's returned in all of her glory, but I guess we could talk about that later. And yeah, so she's like, how dare you philander with my life partner? And Janeway's like, LOL, not even remotely interested.
You can have him.
Oh, and it turns out that the Voyager has been seeing like a whole shitload of supernovas nearby. Well, Q takes Janeway into the Continuum, and it turns out those are not real supernova. They're like Q Civil War supernova, and it's because they're in this war now over like the freedoms, and Q's all, like I said, leading a fight against like not being able to make decisions, I guess. I don't really know. But at least we had repercussions from Quinn's death, like they said we might.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this war and these supernovas and all the shit that's happening is actually affecting the power of the Q. John Delancey Q gets shot and he's actually bleeding, and no one looks more surprised than him. Meanwhile, his lady wife is still on board the Voyager and she loses her ability to do that snap thing they do so well, which leads to B'Elanna being really sassy, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
I loved it. But yeah, they get ultimately, Janeway convinces Q of a couple things. One, you shouldn't breed with me. Human DNA is not going to save you because the things that make human beings cool has nothing to do with genetics. It has to do with us all pretending to be good people for millennia. And 2, it sort of sounds like you just want to knock me up and then not actually do any of the work, so I'd rather not. And 3rd, if you're going to do a fuck and you want to get some good stuff back into the Q Continuum, why don't you just bang your wife? She seems hot and seems like she likes you. I mean, a lot more than I do, definitely. So maybe do that. They surrender. The opposing forces are like, well, we're still going to fucking kill you, though. And Q has this impassioned speech about why they should spare Janeway. Janeway becomes wet for the first time in this episode. It's probably the only time she's ever been attracted to Q is when he's doing this little speech of his. But she's already signed him away to fuck his own wife, so that's that. Ultimately, they are freed because the Voyager crew shows up dressed up in goofy Civil War clothing, and they overtake the forces, and they're freed, and then we get to watch Mr. and Mrs. Q have really awesome hot sex, and then we meet Q's baby, the end.
The foreplay can last for decades.
Yeah, gross.
I just feel like I'd be exhausted.
I
feel like if I had decades of foreplay,
like
I would
abrasions
expire.
Yeah.
They must need a lot of lube.
We're making fun of how they had sex, but meanwhile, Tuvok was like, oh, that's hot.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Because Vulcans are all about hand shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so they got our friend Kalar here doing Mrs. Q.
I am going to do my level best to only refer to Tom from here on out as Helmboy.
Helmboy.
Helmboy was good, although I did like Chakotay as Chuckles.
Yeah, we like that too.
That was a
Oh
good
my
one.
god, Chuckles is it? I was like, oh my god, yes, it is Chuckles.
Okay, how much did you guys like Bar Rodent for Neelix?
That was good too.
Bar Rodent was
Lot of
great.
Bar
A
Rodent.
lot of great nicknames this episode.
But yeah, she called him Helmboy. It's pronounced fuckboy, but
I think it's actually pronounced Pool Boy. I feel like it was more of that kind of energy.
I imagine there was a deleted scene where Harry Kim was like, "Oh, what's my nickname?" And she's like, "Harry Kim."
Speaking of deleted scenes, the scene where he shows up to ask Kim and Paris for like their suggestions about how to win Janeway over, it goes from "I'm here because I want to fuck Janeway" to Paris being like, "All right, we give. What do you want to know?" And I imagine there must have been some back and forth that was removed. Do you know anything?
No,
I
why
no,
would
I was
I
really
know
hoping
that?
you would know. Because
they were too busy reporting on the caterers on Memory Alpha today.
There was a great puppy that you failed to
Oh
mention.
yeah, the puppy.
A little Cocker Spaniel. I don't mean the puppy.
Oh, that line.
The look on John Delancey's face was wonderful.
That
No, it was too much.
that was Dirty Pool from Q.
Dirty what?
Pool.
What's Dirty Pool?
Playing dirty.
Dirty Pool is playing dirty?
Yeah.
What the
I think Chris just
No.
made that expression up.
No, it's not. It's
I've never
dirty
heard that.
pool, isn't it? It's maybe the
Is it
English
British?
say it
I'm sure
more.
Oi, governor!
Give him-
Honestly, I think the first time I ever heard it was in the Addams Family movie.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Gomez
Also, to be
says it.
fair, they call it billiards.
Yeah, that's right.
Dirty billiards.
We play snooker here!
But
Play dog
dirty-
shot to Paris.
Dirty cricket, isn't it? Ooh.
but yes, the dog was
Dirty
was,
pool's just what you call it after you pee in the pool.
Why?
Dirty Pool is that scene from Caddyshack.
It's a baby roof. Oh, wow.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I feel like that was playing dirty. You know, it's like, you know, you can't tempt her with a trip back to Earth and anything else, but you bring her a cute dog, and that's unfair.
I don't know. It would have worked for me. I was
And
like,
I
sure,
know-
as long as I get to keep this fucking puppy.
I know that she's a fan of dogs because there was one time when they showed her looking at a picture of her boyfriend, but it also had a dog in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good thing they left that dog in the picture.
We also know that Qs must just really like dogs because this is the second time puppies have shown up around a Q.
That's true.
Is that true?
Amanda,
Yeah,
what's
they-
her face?
Rogers.
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
When her Q powers was trying to activate, like the first thing she did was flood the Enterprise D with puppies.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I'm sure there's a lot of ways we can kind of talk around the Amanda Rogers kind of nullifying this episode a little
Kinda
bit.
does.
Well,
I
wasn't
didn't
it?
even
Well,
think
but
of
it was a
that.
huge problem, though. The fact that they killed her parents with a tornado.
Oh yeah,
because
because
they weren't
yeah.
supposed to do that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, so the parents of Amanda Rogers back in True Q 8 years ago or so was that they turned into humans and then they procreated. And their offspring creature happened to end up inheriting Q powers.
Yeah.
So there's kind of, like, it's questionable if there's already human DNA in the continuum.
That's true.
Or if she counts because their parents were both Qs, but they were humans at the time.
I'm
and
guessing,
what the fuck?
I'm guessing that if
No
you're,
one saw
if
that
you-
episode.
If you're a Q and you become human, you're not actually becoming human. Like, even when Q became human and, like, they scanned him, like, no, he's showing up as human. He's got a ball sack and everything.
Yikes.
I still don't think they're truly the same as biological humans. I'm going to say that they're, you know, like Odo being a human. You know, he might look like a human, but not quite right.
He doesn't really look like a human.
So wait,
to
the
be
time when they made Odo human, he wasn't human?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, because of course not. Because all he had to do was absorb the baby changeling, and it changed him right back. So
Well,
I think when Odo was human, he was just locked into human form.
yeah, because
Okay,
they didn't
I'll
say
buy
they
that.
made him a human. They said they made him a solid.
But they did say that he had organs.
And orgasms.
Yes.
With quirks.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It is, yeah, the Amanda Rogers thing is a little
You know, I didn't even
confusing.
think of that. Which is funny, because I similarly thought, like, oh, Qs and puppies. But I didn't then remember what that episode had been sort of about.
Oh.
So-
I do like the puppies.
It didn't occur to me, like, wait a minute, we've already, hold on.
I also think that, you know, as much as I liked having Kaylar and her sass. This would have been a good opportunity to bring the Amanda Rogers character back as a fellow Q.
Yeah, but they needed to have history.
Yeah, but Q and
A lot.
Not as Q's wife, just in general.
just
to bring
as
her back?
another Q. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that
I
would
mean,
have...
they could have been together. I don't know.
That would require continuity between episodes, and we
Sure.
don't
It's
need
between
that.
series, for God's sake. But also, there's just something creepy about the age gap. Like,
I mean,
she is literally only a few decades old, which to a Q is like...
And he's billions of years old.
Yeah, she is a microbe.
So what was this voice that Susie Q was putting on then? Susie Q is what the
Susie
fans call
Q,
her.
that's
Ah!
Because
I
it's
thought that-
because it's Susie Plack.
It's-
Right,
sounded-
see, I thought that was just something you came up with.
No, I
so.
wish. It's clever.
It sounded to me like she was trying to do a mishmash of John Delancey as Q and Janeway. Just her normal voice.
Yeah, I mean,
She had that Katharine Hepburn thing kind of
Yeah, I
going
thought she was
on.
just Katharine Hepburn.
yeah, she was just doing a Catherine Hepburn, and
But, like, not a good one.
this might be. We've seen her as a couple different characters.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see her as more.
Kaylar and Salar.
will?
I don't like not till Enterprise though.
Ugh.
I don't think it'll
No.
Enterprise. No, I think you're right.
I think she plays a character in an episode of Enterprise. But here's the thing, she's what 6'2". Yeah, because I was noticing how much taller than B'Elanna she was, and I was like, wow. I know B'Elanna's not tall, but she's way taller than B'Elanna. And I wonder if they cast her in this simply so that she could stand more or less eye to eye with Delancey, who's even taller.
6'4", 6'3".
Yeah.
You looked it up today.
Well, yeah, so we looked it up because we were watching it, and I was like, God, she is eye to eye with Chakotay. How tall is she?
And it turns out she's 2 inches taller than Chakotay.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because I was like, man, she's actually enormous compared to
Well, it's because
everybody else.
earlier we saw her as Kaylar, and it's just like, yeah, that's just what Klingons look like.
Of course she's an Amazon.
It didn't even register that it was because she was very tall.
Yeah. And again, they probably cast her in part so that, Michael Dorn, as the internet told me. I looked up her height, and then it was like, oh, do you want all these other Star Trek actors' heights?
And you're like, yes.
And yeah, Michael Dorn's 6'3". So it was probably at least partly so that they could again be more or less level.
Yeah.
Why Silar then?
Because Vulcan.
Sure.
Yeah,
Kaylar's
but
still
I wasn't.
That's correct.
I wasn't crazy about her performance in this episode.
No, it was really exaggerated, over the top. Like there were moments of this episode where I was like, is this a comedy or is this just a normal episode with a lot of jokes?
I mean, that's how a lot of Q episodes are.
Yeah.
The Robin Hood episode.
No, that's just a comedy.
The turning Data into a laughing man episode.
Even
Real Boy.
even the Quinn episode, even once shit was getting darker, they still had our comedy, what's the word? Witnesses or whatever. Not
I
witnesses.
have no idea what you're going for.
When they brought in fucking Isaac Newton and a hippie and...
Yeah.
Oh, the guest stars?
And that was just goofy.
Yeah, but by then they got into
And
the serious...
It was a great balance of comedy in that episode. And this one I just felt, there's a joke now, and I keep forgetting that there should be lots of jokes, because most of them didn't really land for me.
No.
Possibly because trying to force a baby in Janeway was the worst
gross.
setup. I actually think a civil war amongst the Q Continuum.
Way more interesting.
Fucking great. I really wanted to see just all of that, and putting it through a lens that the humans can understand, like they did in the Quinn episode. Great idea.
Yeah, but first they had to make sure that you remembered that in spite of the fact that she has climbed to the captaincy in a mostly male Starfleet, she's still just a baby incubator and too fucking bad.
You are a uterus, and that is your first role.
It's literally exactly what I said. I was like, wow, thanks for
damn
reducing
it.
her to a fucking uterus.
Yeah.
Fuck this fucking show.
I was hoping that there would have been a mention that, Q would come to Janeway and say, congratulations, you're the first I selected after, Klingon Targs. Why? To be my baby mama. Well,
Dude, why would he fuck a Targ?
Well, Picard said no.
That's what I thought everybody's like, Picard know he's cheating on him?
I know, right?
Well, it's also, in a sense, it's kind of Janeway's fault that this whole thing's happening.
I'm sorry.
Because she let Quinn...
Oh, yeah.
It's not her fault that he wanted
I was like,
to bang her. No.
Did you see what she was wearing?
That fucking war.
The Civil War was her fault.
The
Yeah,
Civil
all
War
right.
is-
in a sense.
I'll allow that. But as for, I was really fucking excuse me?
Oh boy.
Tarting it around in that tight-fitting Starfleet uniform like she always does.
Oh, that's another thing. I didn't think that Susie Q's uniform was well fitted. It was
Really?
distracting to me.
It's probably just an
I
extra.
didn't notice.
It was probably just an extra.
Well, it's because they probably
You know
had to
what,
take
it was
one of
probably-
the men's
It was probably
men's
it was probably
ones, so
a
they
men's
didn't-
uniform, and they didn't want to make
Yeah,
a
they weren't
fitted
gonna
uniform
nip
for that,
it in for her.
that character.
It's too bad because damn,
Yeah,
she's
it
hot.
wasn't. It was like, yeah, she's
Her
got
hair
a,
was good.
She's got a really good figure.
I'm sure
and
it was a wig,
Wasn't
but it
great in
looked
that uniform.
I kind of wished, and I didn't realize, I didn't think of this till this morning when I was rereading synopses, that when Lady Q shows up, when Susie Q shows up in the middle of the Civil War, and she's in, the Civil War dress, I'm like, why isn't she dressed as one of the Union soldiers? She would have rocked that look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she would.
I joked that they actually also brought B'Elanna on the rescue mission, but when she popped up in one of those dresses, she was like, no.
I'm not doing
and
it
it's
this
just
way.
in a corner sulking, rightly so.
I don't think she'd be sulking, though. I think she'd be punching stuff.
No, or
Be
that.
tearing the dress off, like, "Urgh, urgh."
I kind of feel like, like what must have happened is, they wrote this, and Q's faction is very distinctly made to be like the rebel faction, yet his side is the one as Union soldiers. And I think it's because somebody, after they wrote it, was like, guys, we can't have the good guys be the Confederates.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, exactly. We
That
can't
or-
have our heroes dressed in gray.
That, or when they were reading the script, Tim Russ went, if you honkies think I'm putting on that uniform, you got another thing coming.
I bought it because it sounded like the side of the Q Continuum that we saw, like that general and all those guys were the ones who wanted to be like incredibly conservative.
Yeah.
We want to keep what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Slavery.
But I'm willing to bet in early drafts they were not thinking it through, and...
I don't know. I feel like they planned this very specifically because also like the Q and the Gray is an old Civil War poem about the Union soldiers versus the Confederate soldiers. Good pun. This one's a good pun.
But it's not the Q and the gray in the original.
It's the blue and the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it actually
Thank you,
works
Jake.
for once.
I mean, but you said the Q and the gray is an old.
I literally
old poem.
thought I had said it right and didn't.
I also, you said it, and I was like, yes, of course.
Yes, obviously.
They're referring to barbecue.
What?
The barbecue in the gray. That'd be a good name for a barbecue
It
joint.
would. Let's start one.
What?
Your stomach
Yeah.
making.
No, we'll make it Star
He's
Trek
thinking about
themed.
barbecue now.
Did I just hear your
Yeah, also
stomach
that.
rumble at the sound of barbecue?
I don't think
It
so,
heard,
but...
I heard it too.
Okay.
Oh, apparently yes. I guess I'm hungry.
Excellent.
But yeah. I think Q.
What?
Wow, that was a weird face.
That was a weird sound.
Yeah, I don't know. This is so. Actually, I could probably apply this to both of these two episodes that
Do
we
it.
watched. I think one of the complaints that Voyager gets a lot is that it is.
Shitty? No, I'm just kidding. I like it. I'm just kidding. I
is that like
episodic?
Despite,
I'm just kidding. I really like it.
Despite like the really cool premise, so many of its episodes could just very easily be
Drop into TNG.
TNG episodes,
Mhm.
and both of these episodes, you just swap in the last episode. Just swap out Cass for Troy, and in this episode, switch out Janeway for
Troy.
I was gonna say Crusher in this
Okay,
one
because
then you have the two
red hair.
redheads.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
But
but there's no ghost fucking. Are
Yeah,
you sure
but
that would be a good
realistically-
Gates McFadden?
They'd have used Troy because that's what they used Troy
Yeah,
for.
that's true.
Oh, she definitely would have been Cass in the first one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I know you just said that, but yes. Agreed.
Well, yeah, because she's even got the mental powers that would have tied in.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so powerful. I can sense somebody's angry somewhere.
Well, she's tied to the stake with Q, being like, I sense they are not happy with you.
Yes. But yeah, so I feel like critique might be warranted in that front because there's nothing distinctly Voyager about either of these episodes.
Yeah.
And especially like I know
Except that he really couldn't have had a baby with Jean-Luc Picard.
why not?
He's a
that would have
Q.
been that would have been a much funnier
Okay,
thing.
don't-
What
He
if
was at an
Jean-Luc
Enterprise.
Picard got him pregnant and John Delancey carried the baby?
Yikes.
I mean, he obviously hadn't really thought about how they were going to do it.
Like that would have been, I mean, I don't think they would have done that in the 90s having
No.
Jean-Luc having Q try to seduce Jean-Luc.
Yeah, no,
Picard,
the
but
90s definitely would have been like, he would have been...
I'm sorry, have you seen any of TNG?
Fair.
Pretty sure they fucking already did.
I mean,
in
they
fact.
did wake up in bed together, so
what he would have done,
With Q's lips pressed against his ear.
he would have been harassing Picard to be like, convince Troy to sleep with me.
Oh, that.
Oh.
damn it, Q.
Sean Connery?
Yes, always. Literally always. And I should be able to be surprised by this anymore.
I'd forgotten it's been a while.
Fair enough. It has been a while.
Here's a great line. When Janeway says to Chakotay, he wants to mate with me. And then Chakotay says, get in line!
Is there any word more unpleasant than mate for sex?
He said, I believe he said something about copulation at one point.
That's
I
pretty
missed
bad.
Which I think is worse than mate.
It's pretty bad, too.
Plow.
No, plow's alright.
That's fine.
Aim's got my back.
Oh, here's a note I had. Is Miss Q just Stella?
I was thinking that too! Hardcore! It's so good. Don't be philandering with my husband.
I know.
Believe me, bitch,
she's
no one wants him.
She's so jokey.
Except me, I want him. I'll take him.
And I didn't really understand how, we have to fly into a supernova to get into the
Yeah, that was a little
continuum.
forced. That
But,
was
like-
just to get the two plots to connect, and I was like, eh.
Like, maybe it could have been like, instead of flying into it, it could have been like, we have to get really close to it so I can absorb the continuum power and use my snap again or something. I don't know.
Or they got to, like, Ben Franklin it. They got, like, a key on a string
Oh,
dangling
yeah,
off the
fuck
bottom
yes.
of the ship.
There you
That's
go.
it. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't clear to me, like, where did the ship go? How did they get into uniform? Into their Civil War uniform?
Well, that was all part of the Q filter.
And this means that all the Voyager crew that are running around shooting people, they're using those impossibly powerful Q weapons that Delancey said, like, oh, to you it's just bullets, flying around. You don't understand what it actually is. This is only what your mind can understand.
And they handed that shit right over to the intrepid crew of the Voyager.
Kim killed the whole solar systems.
And fucking the general of the enemy side, like, wow, you just got captured by a human fuckboy. How
By
embarrassed are
Helmboy.
you?
Helm boy.
I really think
Homeboy to the rescue!
at some point, Q has got to owe them a trip back to the Alpha Quadrant, though. They've saved the continuum now.
Also, though, like, I love how she's like, oh, you've made me that promise before. We'd rather do it the right way or whatever. And I was like, excuse me, bitch. Maybe take a survey of your crew. I'm pretty sure literally everyone on the ship
Yeah.
except you would be like, no. We're willing to take the shortcut.
But being fair, the deal this time was you have my child and raise it.
Listen.
Like, I don't think she owes the crew a survey.
I
in
mean,
this
I
case.
agree, but they might not.
There are other times where Janeway has made the decision without consulting anyone else, where I've been like, maybe a survey. This time, though, yeah, no, she owes no one anything. This is totally her right to be like, fuck off, Q.
No, you're right about that. I know.
Other times, sure, I'll hold her feet to the fire. This time, no.
Other note, Delancey doesn't believe they should have shown the baby Q at the end.
Oh, agreed. It was ugly as shit.
It wasn't an
That was
attractive
an
baby.
ugly
Bad
baby.
baby. We wanted the
Bad baby.
Bad baby.
It should have been the puppy.
Back baby, back baby.
He'd
back.
have been like, there's no rule that said it had to be humanoid, Kathy.
Yes.
Kathy. I hate that he calls her Kathy. It
See
makes me
what
wanna
you're missing
vomit.
out on? You could have more and more puppies.
Well, I mean, honestly, the kid would also be omnipotent, presumably, so the kid might have been a kid and then made himself a puppy.
That would actually be-
Ooh.
It's like, well, he came out humanoid, but he insists on being a puppy.
So where do new Qs usually come from?
I think there's been a new Q.
I feel like they just always are.
There always been Qs.
Like, with the exception of Amanda Rogers, I think really there have not been new Qs in an extraordinarily long time.
Same old Q.
There was a detail I read that actually is pretty clever, and that's that in the novel IQ, in which the baby is back, but whenever they refer to him, it's just a lowercase q.
Oh,
That's
that's
pretty
cute.
funny.
That's pretty good.
I like that. But yeah, the dog was great.
Good dog.
I love the dog.
10 out of 10.
Nice, good,
Best-
good dog. Nice, good tea. Nice dog.
Best dog acting we've seen.
Oh.
So now Janeway's responsible for the baby Q's parochial education.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the godmother. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Is that what godmothers are supposed to be in charge
I feel
of?
like that
Yes.
that was a traditional role.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think also, I mean, I don't think it's any longer legally binding, but I think if something happened to the parents, you become the
Guardians.
guardian.
No, that's a terrible idea.
But nowadays, I think there's...
Yeah, I wonder about that now because I feel like they don't necessarily do that.
Yeah, no,
I feel
that,
like
that's
they just find the next
old.
of kin and they decide amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's an old
I mean,
tradition.
do you even when you name somebody a godmother or godfather, is that even like a legal thing, or is it just like
Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like paperwork to fill out.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe...
It's an honorary title.
Yeah, like, maybe some denominations of the church keep some sort of paperwork, but again, that's not legally binding in any capacity.
I know my aunt is always like, my godson!
Just
that
like
is her
that?
voice. That is her voice.
I am surprised they didn't do the... I made the joke myself, but there was no inevitable, after they finger fuck, no one said, have you given any thought to a name?
Oh.
We'll call them Q. Tiny Q. As Ames pointed out.
Lowercase q.
Lowercase q.
Speaking of Q...
Speaking of Q, yeah, so our blogtivity today is just all celebrations of Q, and I realize, I believe this episode that you're listening to right now, hi, people in the future from us, comes after Picard has just ended, or Picard Season 2 has just finale'd, so you may have some additional Qs that we haven't yet witnessed. If I've planned enough ahead, maybe they're up on the Tumblr, you can see all the Qs there, but we may have a couple that we're skipping.
You'll just have to take your cue from us.
Alright, that's enough.
Insert the sound of a gun. I'm sorry, she was making Q jokes. We had to stop.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
We had to stop it before the madness spread. No, I meant me.
Alright, so we're gonna start off. The very first Q we see in Encounter at Farpoint is actually this kind of 16th century
How did I completely forget that?
sea captain? I'm not quite sure what he is, but
He's like
he's
a
No,
merchant.
he looks like I was gonna say he looked like a prince or
He
something.
does have a breastplate, so...
He's got a breastplate, a sick fucking cloak,
A terrible wig.
He's like
the
I'm
feather
gonna go
hat.
like a Marco Polo type character.
Yeah, it's great in the moment, because I know it's very funny in the moment that he thinks that this is how he's going to connect with the crew through this fucking weird ass costume. Again, yeah, I think aside from the wig, Delancey looks great. Then he changes into this kind of marine Q, which, if you like guys in uniform, Delancey pulls it off.
I
Holy
never noticed he
shit.
has a cigarette.
He does, yeah. He has a cigarette in the shot, in the wide shot.
But they took it out for the game because
took it
you're
out.
not supposed to let kids have cigarettes anymore.
Which is funny, because his hand is still kind of like, his fingers still look like they're holding it.
Well, yeah, it's because they probably took a screenshot and
Well, his
traced
stance
over
is
it.
also totally different too.
Well,
His
it could be
legs are-
it could be a different moment too, though.
Oh god, he is fucking. Yeah.
Yeah, considering it's meant
I
to
have
be...
to choose just one favorite. This is going to be really bad.
But yeah, considering it's supposed to be like World War II, the cigarette's a nice touch.
Is that World War II? That
Yeah.
looks like World War One. Am I wrong?
Maybe both? I don't know a load about...
I feel like it looks World War One to me, but what the fuck? I'm not a history buff by any means.
yeah, I would guess one, but again, I also am not the history buff.
Well, I'm going to ask the internet. Well, I was in World War One. You understand?
Is he a captain here? Is that what his
I do
rank
not know enough
insignia
about
indicates?
bars.
You can't read all his fruit salad. USA uniform. Let's see.
Okay, well, Caitlin's doing that.
It's the hat that makes me think it.
Well, they still use the little hats to this day.
Oh, that's stupid.
Dub
Wait.
trip.
We also see Q in that episode. He jumps to our future, to World War III Q, in that soldier with the drug thing.
The weird parka.
Oh, the
saying-
hood is awful.
It in no way looks like armor, but it does look like it is cold as fuck wherever he is.
Yeah.
And he's probably warm. He didn't have the flared trousers.
Interesting.
But the rest.
That's World War One.
That is World War One. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that thing he was definitely wearing was like World War Two or
Oh, was it?
or Korea.
Oh, all right, fine. Jake has spoken with
Yeah, this
more
thing-
authority than I have, so good.
This thing's fugly. I don't like it.
It's very derpy.
Yeah.
I think that's the point, though. I think the point is to just show your future is going to look like this. Is this what you want?
I don't know.
guys?
When we think about what a lot of early TNG looked like, I think they thought this was great.
Well, wouldn't World War III have already happened for TNG by then?
Yeah.
That's the was the eugenic wars?
No, that's
something else.
After that.
You're telling me that the whole world didn't fucking come out for the eugenics wars?
These are
No.
apparently contemporary with Zephyr Cochrane in First Contact.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. He had a better hat.
One of the most iconic Qs is the Judge Q. We see him all over the place.
Have you
He's-
ever mentioned he looks like a Bene Gesserit? Because he does. He looks like a Bene Gesserit in this.
He's got like the dark lipstick for reasons. He's in his throne. He's got the cloak.
His throne looks like it's flanked by big dicks. What the hell is that?
It's lion heads.
Yeah,
apparently.
sure it is.
Yeah, and they change between...
Kind of looks like Gorn heads on the below decks, lower decks.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the throne accoutrement definitely changes between episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Well, it looks like a PP in that first
I'm
picture.
gonna go with this is like Canada.
What?
Well, because he's an Earth judge in the post World War. Like this is a judge's uniform from post World War III, right?
Yeah.
And that robe, I feel like the Canadian Supreme Court wears red robes like that.
Well, and
Really?
the necklace is like a British mayoral
So,
necklace.
Yeah, or maybe it could be UK. I don't know enough about UK, but I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of the Canadian Supreme Court and they have red robes.
No, they may very well.
So
The whole robe thing in courts I find very silly.
It's just
It's so...
tradition, and tradition is
Yeah.
often 99% of traditions are fucking stupid.
Do they still wear the powdered wigs in the UK?
Oh yeah.
Hate
and,
it.
and Canada. I
Fucking
think a lot of
hate
the
it.
Commonwealth countries do that.
I think maybe not at all levels, but in many of them, they still have to wear the dumb wigs.
Very silly.
Mm-hmm.
Q looks great though, and I think this is probably his most famous look because we also see it the most. We even see it in Lower Decks. Spoilers for Lower Decks.
I mean, we see it twice until Lower Decks, right? We see it in Encounter at Farpoint and all good things.
Yeah.
We're going to see it again, but with other. We're going to see it in the next Q episode, which I'm not going to spoil today. The other thing we see Q in all the fucking time are all kinds of different captain's uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
We see him in literally all the captain's uniforms between early seasons TNG, later seasons TNG, and early seasons DS9 and Voyager. We never see him in the later DS9 captain getup, I don't believe. And it's just what he does, so
Yeah.
I included that in the list. His hair changes wildly. Really good look in, I think this is Haydn Q.
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Probably.
Is this Aldebaran serpent thing, which I just find really funny and also give some props to because it's not a Earth race.
Yeah.
It's not an Earth look and good.
Snaky boy.
It looks like a headdress.
Mm.
Like I want it to be a hat. I want to wear it.
You'd look good in that hat.
I'd look great in that hat.
Did you cosplay as this?
I
Is the
wonder if
snaky
people
boy?
have. I wonder if people have cosplayed as this thing.
God.
I bet people cosplay as everything, so they probably have.
They probably use the little
Probably.
sphere as like a bubble helmet or something.
I want it to be like a hamster ball.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of want the sphere to just be over my whole body, and then the snakes just come out.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
you can do is you can have some sticks, make them sort of go around, like
Yeah.
move around and stuff.
Yep. Puppeteers get on it. Moving forward, we also see... We talked about this in our Admiral conversation. The Admiral costume that Q picks to wear... I believe this is also Haydn Q. Oh my... It's the silliest one.
His hair also looks bad.
His hair is bad.
Like, what happened to his hair?
He's just wearing a Christmas garland around his neck. It's
But it looks.
weird.
But looks very stylish. He's wearing it well, I guess is what I mean to say. No, I'm just kidding. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's actually bad.
Delancey's great.
Yes, that's correct.
You guys love this one?
What is this one from? Is this from the Enterprise?
Yeah.
Because he shows up on Deep Space Nine too, right? Like
Yeah, but
one
that's
time you
Picard
get punched in the face or whatever.
Pre-beard Riker and everything.
Oh, gross! It's a very early.
Yeah,
TNG.
very early.
He looks super young in this. Like younger than he looked the first time we saw him. Like, this is the most baby-faced Q we ever see.
I think it's just you when you put on like the military uniform, you just look older. So that's
He's
a
so
good
cute.
one.
I love John Delancey.
He's
speaking of
super
military.
fun. Also in Haydn Q as this Marshal of France.
What is he drinking? Milk? What the fuck is that? Or is it Fresca?
I think lemonade.
Could be Fresca.
I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was. I
He's
just
French.
read
It's
this
absinthe.
It's not green though.
Not all absinthes are actually that green.
Well, oh no, that's true. Actually, when they do the absinthe in Dracula, it's actually not very green at all.
Yeah, a lot of them actually when you add they come out, it comes out really green, but when you add the water and sugar, it tends to get kind of cloudy.
Jesus Christ. This is a great costume. And I'm sure it's just some stock costume they grabbed that they threw on Delancey. He looks awesome in it.
Looks better without the hat.
I love the hat.
I don't know. I kind of like
the
it.
hat's great.
I like it either way.
The hat's just fun.
Yeah, he's got that weird dangling sheep badge.
Is that what that is? It's
I
a
think it's a
sheep?
sheep. It looks like a sheep.
It looks like they're getting ready to feed it to the raptors.
Seriously. And it's probably
What the fuck is wrong with that sheep?
It's probably some actual historical thing for God knows what reason. The past was weird.
Super weird.
Past was pretty weird.
Did people really dress like this?
I mean,
Definitely had sheep badges.
a marshal probably did, yeah. Like fancy soldiers who didn't actually have to fight because they were the aristocracy.
Wow. With great hats. He also does
man.
a brief moment where he disguises himself as Data with the silver
fuck.
skin and yellow eye
Lenses.
contacts to boot.
I don't like how this one fits him. That he's, I think, a very good-looking man in general, but this one kind of makes him look like he's got bitch titties, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like none of the rest of the stuff does.
No one looked good in those first 2 season
I'm just
uniforms.
saying,
They
Yeah,
were.
you said Picard in this uniform looked like he had an A cup.
Oh well.
Yeah, no,
It is the costume. It is not Delancey.
These uniforms.
Well, I know it's not Delancey. I'm just saying that this is why I don't like this on him. I like it otherwise.
Yeah, no, these uniforms are garbage.
Him as Data. Nothing not to like about that. Is this just a thirst trap? Is this really even going up?
Nope, this is just for me and Caitlin to view in our spare time. What I didn't realize in Hide and Q is Q does a very clever thing, which I'm going to give some credit to, like, the writers, the costumers, the whoever for.
Costumers.
And that's, I never noticed that since he usually is talking to Picard, he'll disguise himself as a Starfleet captain. When he talks to Riker, he disguises himself as a Starfleet commander.
He's only got 3 pips.
Which is just
clever.
a great detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the costumers.
Yeah, good work, costumers.
Yeah.
What the
Same
fuck?
episode. He's a monk in a monk's robe
No.
with a cross and beads and sandals.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I gotta like those sandals.
The sandals
actually.
look pretty
The rest of
comfy.
it, I don't. God, he is just such a beautiful human. Look at the nipping at the waist. What can't this man wear?
Season 1 Starfleet
Oh yeah, that's
uniform.
right. Bitch tits. Well, I guess we just covered that.
First one with the hood up, especially with the shadow, real Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come vibes.
I was thinking he looks like Ben Kenobi.
Or that.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking to definite Jedi Knight feelings.
Anyway.
That's not a costume.
Yeah, well, it's a costume. It counts
Oh.
as a costume.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
it
behind
counts. Yeah.
Patrick Stewart in that one picture, there's definitely a cocksock.
Yep, we do. Well, no, because this is our naked Q when he becomes human, and he first beams in naked. And I remember they said like they could not get a good way to shoot Q naked without him just being naked.
Wait, so there isn't even a cocksock?
I'm pretty sure he's just hanging out,
Wow.
That's why.
or
he
at
looks
least in one of the
Spiner's
scenes.
impressed.
I mean, the thing is, he's probably not actually. Like, he might have been naked in some of these shots. He's probably not naked in because he's either. I don't think that's composited. I think he's just lying on some kind of a platform that's obscured by Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I think it might be the previous scene where you see a bit of butt cheek.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I think
That
Ah.
one definitely, like,
Yeah.
there wasn't a good way to film that one. I
That's
remember
fair.
this, us discussing this and being like, butt cheek!
I was just thinking how much I like butt cheeks. Funny.
Naked Q.
But yeah, I just included this one because it's fun.
No, that's fair.
But the rest
Oh,
of the
no.
episode, he's a human in one of the worst costumes. They
What?
even comment about how bad this costume is, and I'm just like, why?
Isn't this what what's his name wore in the Voyager movie?
Yeah, you're only saying that because of the bulge.
Yes, that's exactly why I'm saying it.
That's so
Yuck.
bad. It's so bad.
Yucky.
The gray is a bad color. It doesn't like normally. I would say like if it were just on its own, in this little this little green undershirt might be a nice shirt.
Hey,
Yeah.
But
you know
they
what I
ruined
think-
it.
You know what would fix this, Ames?
Anything else?
A belt.
Being naked, a belt.
A belt would help.
A belt would help.
But it would still
a
be
cod
trash.
piece might help as well.
That too,
A
yeah.
cape.
Mm.
The Marshal of France hat.
Naked Q.
Yeah, just be naked. It'll fix everything.
Not being spandex.
Yeah, just I think the squarey shape of the top,
Yeah.
like I don't know if just a plunging neckline that came to a point would be better, but I also feel like this doesn't need to be a onesie.
I have
No.
to say, the artists who did the version for the video game were not completely accurate. With,
Not enough bulge?
with their depiction.
Oh no. They do good work on the timelines. It's a good time. Here's another good one on the timelines. The mariachi costume.
Okay, I like it, except that it feels like they got that fucking serape at, like, I don't even know what dollar store you would get that shit from.
They are in Los Angeles, so they probably did just go to some tourist dollar
I
store.
mean, they also probably have, like, in their archive
That's true, yeah.
tons of this type of crap from
Yeah.
like,
Oh wait, from other movies.
productions and
Yeah.
movies. So it probably is from some, like, 40s era film or something. So yeah, accuracy might not be there.
No.
What do you call this the little polka dot neck piece?
That's almost like a cravat, but I don't know. There's probably a name for
There's
the
maybe a
traditional
name
version.
for it, but yeah, I like the polka dottiness.
Yeah, I never noticed how like multicolored it was.
Yeah, polka dots combined with stripes. I don't know why, but I always like that combination.
That's fair.
Stripey dot.
Yep, that's all I gotta say about this
What
one.
is that thing? What would you call that?
Ooh.
In Cupid, he harasses Q as an archaeologist for a while, which is very fun. He pulls off the costume. Fucking Delancey can pull off nearly any costume.
I'm not sure about the shorts.
I am.
Oh, but those legs?
Yeah, no,
Look at those
I'm
legs.
sure about it.
Mmm.
Yeah, no, he's got nice gams or something.
He does.
Is that what that is? A gam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that what that is? A gam. I like it.
Ames said I was right.
Yeah.
No, I know. I
Gams
love.
are legs.
I love the question.
I wanted nibble.
The problem with this photo on the right is that it looks like he's using the pith helmet to hide a boner.
What do you mean it looks like? That's obviously what he's doing.
Also, get your shoes off the couch.
Archaeologist Q.
That's paleontology.
Whatever, same thing. He looks like he's dressed up for a fucking dino dig. Is all
Fair.
I'm saying.
That's true, yeah.
All right,
Q-osaurus
and then,
Rex.
oh my goodness, the rest of Cupid is just costumes galore.
Oh, I don't like the beard.
The sheriff of Nottingham Q is whatever they had in stock and a horsey.
That is straight up the Roger Delgado master beard.
They probably took it off of Roger Delgado.
Horse.
Horse?
Horse.
He looks
Horse.
good in it.
He does. Feather hats for the win.
Man can pull off a long ass robe.
But how tall do we learn he was? 6'3"?
6'4", 6. I think he was 6'4" because Michael Dorn was 6'3".
Oh, wow. Yeah. A tall man in a long robe
Yeah.
Yum.
with lots of bling. Look at all this bling.
It's a lot of
much.
bling.
I'm into the bling.
Really hate the beard. Though I like the beard better than I like it on the drawing. It's better in real life. On the drawing, he just looks at the...
Yeah.
I don't know. Eh.
Next.
I feel bad for the
Next.
Haas.
We jump to Tapestry, where we have the God Q.
Mm.
Picard, you are dead, and I am God. Good for you, buddy. It's another great...
Robe
Not even
thing.
robe,
Does
but
this robe
dressy
make my
thing.
ass
Though
fat?
I will say a little 1970s like Superman when they're having the trial.
I mean, that's what he was going for. I've never seen it. I don't know.
It's another day of Chris making references the rest
Actually-
of us don't get.
I really like the sleeves.
Me too.
I don't know if how
Sleeve
much...
of
And I
wizard.
kind of like the neck.
Yeah, I like that there's a lot of textures that you can
Yeah.
kinda
That's what it
see.
is, yeah.
That's what I really like.
Like it's one of those things you feel like
God would
you
probably-
know what it would feel like if you touched it.
Mm-hmm. Like this is a kind of like soft ribbing area.
Yep.
We got like the kind of woolly almost looking.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they made it clear that there was like textures while you're in a white void with a white costume, like they did a
Yeah.
good job with
Imagine
it.
how fucking hot he must have been filming
Oh,
this
God.
because of all of the lights in that scene.
Yeah, no, oof.
Wearing that woolly whatever.
I mean, both of
He's
them.
like, we're getting this in one fucking take.
Because even though the second uniforms weren't as bad as the first, I'm sure they were still heavy material that just, ugh.
Yeah, in any close-up scene, he's pantsless.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of costumes we see in Tapestry that I didn't realize until I rewatched.
And you regretted this idea.
And I was like, dang it! This whenever
this
I
is
do
rapid fire.
whenever I do these, they're always more work than I expect.
Looks good in the
These
vest.
aren't very exciting.
Yeah, Q is a bartender when he's harassing Picard in the bar. It's a very typical vest look that's very poorly lit, so I'm sorry for these screen grabs.
Yeah, not your fault.
He drops in on Q as a florist. Oh, he drops in on Picard as a florist.
Jean-Luc Picard? That's this
I
one.
either forgot or missed the fact that he's wearing a little fucking bow tie. That's amazing.
The bow tie is great. I love that the name badge just says florist with a little cupid firing the arrow for the delivery.
Cupid, am I right? Damn. Thanks, Ames.
Caitlin did it.
I hate the face they drew him with, though, in the timeline.
He looks like he's biting his lip.
No, he looks like he has just taken a bite out of a lemon for some reason.
Or like he's hiding a boner again for some reason.
No, the flowers would be lower.
That's what you think.
Great bow tie, though. I'm going to keep moving forward because I know we're talking a lot about these. And doing a lot of checking up.
Oh boy. Nope, don't like this.
We have a Dr. Q, also in Tapestry, complete with the
headlight thing.
mirror head thing
Yeah.
that's kind of
I always
stereotypical, but you never actually see anywhere.
I assume the idea was back in the day, like, before small handheld lights, it was meant to reflect light at your patient so you could get a better look, but I've never confirmed that that's what it was.
I don't know.
You don't know, Jake? If anyone was going
It
to
was
know...
the kind of thing Jake might know. We all looked at him
Yes,
like...
this seems like something in the Jake fountain of
That I
knowledge.
don't know.
Again, though, it's interesting because it's like, it's an archaic, like, look at the collar. That's a very, like...
Yeah, it's like a Dodger from the
20s or
yeah.
something. It looks good on him. I don't like the headlight, but that doesn't look good on anyone. Overall,
it's
though.
just, it's part of the joke. It's part of
Yeah.
the I'm your doctor gag.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Which
he
he
also
does.
doing like a Freud kind of voice in that scene?
I don't
I
remember.
don't.
It's
I didn't
possible.
listen to it. I fast forwarded through to like, okay, next scene. Because then we see another one in Tapestry. There's way more in Tapestry than I remember there being. In which he's an old man with like a hearing, one of those horn
Trumpet,
hearing
yeah.
aid things.
Ear trumpet.
He looks like the fucking AI from the last Outpost. Or am I
Oh,
misremembering
the
what it
Portal.
looked like?
Portal 67 or something.
Is that... Because I
Eiffel
remember being like
65.
just sort of like a raggedy-looking old dude, but I
Yeah.
might be misremembering.
No, I think he was. I think the kind of old makeup that they did looked
Actually
pretty decent.
which for TNG is a fucking accomplishment.
Yeah. Because this is, I mean, granted, this is well after. I think this is season 6.
Yeah, they were getting better by that point, because there was
Yeah.
some decent old age makeup on Deanna that one time.
Yeah. And then in All Good Things, they're pretty good except for Riker,
Yeah.
who looks like he's melting. But this Q, pretty good. I like the wispy
The
hair.
eyebrows are
Fun.
intense. I like them.
Yeah. The rags are all pretty good.
Yeah.
A decent look.
Yeah.
Okay, we're finally jumping to Deep Space Nine.
Ugh, no one would look good in that.
Oh, the Bajoran waiter costume is
Oh no.
awful.
Bajoran clothing is just so bad.
I know.
But isn't this also like a lot like what Odo wears, except like in slightly different colors?
I mean, kinda, yeah. And
Because it's got that
he at least had
weird
the, like...
titty cutout thing.
But he had the, like... I think the fact that the shoulders
he's
are
got
sort
the
of
shoulder thing,
attached
too.
over it, like, it adds a little something.
Some modesty.
Bajoran clothing
Is,
not
yeah,
great.
we often comment on how bad it
I mean,
generally
like, to
was.
be fair, though, they've been, like, subjugated for however fucking long. I mean,
They have
haven't exactly...
replicators. They can make new clothes.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I mean,
saying that it hasn't been their
whoever in-
focus for a long time.
Whoever in
is
the
all I'm
real
saying.
world was designing it wasn't thinking that, and they just designed bad costumes.
They might have been, you don't know.
I know. These costumes were fucking terrible.
Real bad. Even Q
Except-
can pull it off.
Except the, like, when Kira would wear her little, like, net green vest thing, that outfit she wore sometimes, civilian Kira, that
Yeah,
looked alright.
civilian clothes I think is better because this is like their kind of
Oh, yeah.
uniform clothes. Which,
Yeah, the uniforms are trash. Like, they designed one that looked good on a non-visitor, and then went, oh shit, everyone has to
I mean,
wear
this
this.
is what happens when the only fashion designer in the immediate area is a Cardassian, and you don't want to give him
Oh
business.
no.
I only know how to design things with incredibly wide necks. I'm confused!
Where does the chest spoon go? Sorry, Q. I do love
Pugilist. Oh, you called him Pugilist Q. Perfect.
Pugilist.
That's what it's called on timelines.
Pugilist.
So I just took the timeline's name, Pugilist Q, which is him in the boxing match. With
Oh, this is when Ben punches him right in the face, right?
Yep.
with the very fun color scheme and the
Yeah.
very silly mustache.
I assume it's like a Victorian look or something.
And the
'cause-
very big fist's about to hit him right in the mouth.
Probably more Edwardian.
He gets a bunch of punches off on Cisco first.
Yeah, I
That's
know he
true,
does,
but
which is why
Cisco-
exactly why Cisco fucking knocks him out.
As the kids say, DGAF.
Is that what the kids say?
God,
When
no.
there are Q punches, do Q punches do the same to people?
I don't know.
Plus, it's all a fucking act anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Even though it's a strange, like old, almost like circusy kind of uniform, like,
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah, again, it's very old-timey. He
You know,
likes old-timey.
He wasn't gonna have the shorts originally, but they probably
Distracted.
getting distracted by that Q bulge again.
Yeah, I like the shorts. The shorts are pretty good. Moving forward, this is in. What was the last Voyager episode? Something.
Yeah, the Quinn one, though.
The Quinn one. Death Wish.
There we go. He
Doesn't have a
looks
Q in the
like
title.
Ebenezer fucking Scrooge.
Yeah, he's in his PJs with the really, the Ebenezer Scrooge nightcap in a long night shirt.
Like, I know people just wore those as a matter of course, but in this day and age, you see someone in a nightcap, and it's just becomes so much part of the popular culture. Your first thought is, oh, Scrooge. It's a Scrooge outfit.
The nightcap?
It's fine. Keep warm, back in the day when you didn't have central heating.
I can't imagine a hat staying on your head while you sleep.
Me neither.
So why is it so long?
But Ma's always in her kerchief and he's always in his cap. It just is. People went to sleep and with shit on their heads. They just did it.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I agree. It's
why didn't Ma get to wear a cap?
She had a kerchief.
For a long winter's nap.
I'll look up nightcaps later and report back.
Dash away,
weird thing.
dash away all.
Okay, now, for everything wrong with that scene,
Ooh,
that
Lothario,
robe,
cute.
I want that robe.
Yeah, so this is from this episode that we just covered today. The robe that Q is pestering Janeway in. A beautiful color too.
He's so fucking cute. I just love him.
Great shade of red.
Like, I don't appreciate the way he behaved in this episode, but
he didn't.
If it was me, I would have been like, you can absolutely reduce me to a uterus, thank you. But no babies.
I bet you they could find out like a Q baby, like birthing it would just be like snap.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like that's what it was basically anyway.
More or less.
Even the sex act was just touching dicks.
Yeah.
Touching dicks.
Yikes. Moving forward. Okay, so we see him at the resort in his kind of luau wear.
In his shorts.
Which I didn't realize because I found these screen grabs before watching Warlord, in which we see when we get that bartender costume change. Very similar to this.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when they showed him the episodes like that. I mean, he was like the bartender.
You can tell Q, despite appearances, is a very old man, though. Socks with sandals.
Oh, yeah.
And they're way tall.
You know, I gotta say, though, as much as socks and sandals gets a lot of shit, if I'm wearing sandals, I'm wearing fucking socks.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I look forward to one day being a socks with sandals old man.
You can be a young man. If I'm wearing sandals, I'm usually wearing socks because I don't like the feeling of shit touching my feet.
I'm going to stop you right now. You're both already too old to be young men doing anything. So let's just dial it back.
What I'm saying is, I wish there was no stigma on the socks.
It looks stupid. That's not the point of sandals. The point of sandals is your feet are out.
Nobody wants feet to be out!
Yes, they do. That's why they make sandals.
What are you? All right, Neelix. Getting your little foot job.
Whoa.
I thought we agreed we wouldn't talk about my hairy, spotty feet on the podcast. You fucking monster. As a side note, while we were watching that, I was like, Jesus Christ, who directed this? Quentin Tarantino? And then I said, nope, even Quentin Tarantino doesn't want to fuck with those feet.
Wow. A detail that in that everybody has in this holodeck program that I noticed is that they're all wearing comm badges.
Yeah, I was just noticing that.
Stay in touch.
Yeah, even Q.
Well,
Q decides he needs a comm badge in this holodeck program.
He likes to fit in. He doesn't want to be left out.
Yeah.
I mean, the shorts I don't like shorts just personally as for me, but I like his shirt and jacket combination thing. I kind of want that. I was
hoping for like a nice, loud Hawaiian shirt.
That's true. He should have been in like the Hawaiianist shirt.
The scarlet macaws all over it. Kind of just go for it, Q.
I feel like he either should have been in that or in full on. Oh God, what's that? Fuck, that line of like suntan stuff with Panama Jack, a full like Panama suit.
Panama Jack.
But yeah, like white suit, the big hat, like either big old Hawaiian shirt or full, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you they picked this look because it was similar to the bartender we saw in the previous episode in this same location.
Yeah.
That they're just, hey, we have these laying around. Will they fit Delancey? Yes. Okay, good. We need the loud Hawaiian shirt then.
Oh my God, what is that woman wearing? They're terrible.
That's the volleyball outfit.
Yeah, they're playing volleyball.
That must have been so uncomfortable to put on. Sorry, anyway.
We mostly see Q in this episode in his Union soldier costume, in which he looks damn good.
Yeah, looks dapper. Looks good with, just the vest and the man looks good in a vest.
Mm.
The hat's a little big, but that's just the nature of the hat.
You look like a Mountie.
He'd look good in a Mountie uniform, I bet.
Yeah, he would.
Quick, have him harass a Canadian captain.
More like a Mount Me uniform. Sorry.
Has there been anyone in Star Trek yet who is canonically Canadian?
Canonically.
The dude's uncle or something. What was it? there was the kid in Lower Decks who thought that Riker was Canadian, but it turned out he's from Alaska.
Yeah, Riker should have been Canadian. I don't know why.
Actually, don't a whole bunch of people in Lower Decks claim to be Canadian?
I don't know.
I think that's a joke, though, and I'm not spoiling it for you guys.
I know there's a lot of Canadians in Mass Effect because the game was made in Canada.
William Shatner's Canadian.
That's true, he
Nice.
is.
But Kirk's from Iowa.
Yeah, no, Kirk is, fucking
Anyway,
corn eater.
I like the costume. It's probably just literally just another one from stock somewhere from another movie.
Oh, yeah.
But good work.
They just finished filming Glory, and actually, no, that was late 80s.
Do they really have hats that big in the Civil War?
Might have, who knows.
That looks so dumb.
The one on Chuckles was probably the same hat, but,
I just...
We're going to call him Chuckles from now on?
Gonna try to.
Good.
Helmboy and Chuckles.
Helmboy,
Hellboy and
Chuckles.
Chuckles. The
Harry
Adventures.
Something rat.
of
What was
Hellboy.
that rat?
Bar
Bar Rat?
Vermin or something. Wasn't it Bar Vermin or...
Bar Rodent.
Bar
Rodents,
Rodent.
damn it.
There we go.
Yeah, pretty good.
Bar Rodent.
Okay, so I'm skipping the one from the next Q episode we're gonna see in Voyager because it is a giant spoiler.
Okay.
I don't think any of the Q costumes in Picard are actually spoilers because you're not gonna get the context, so I can show them to you guys, and then when you finally finish watching Picard, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that costume. That's where that goes.
And this one, of course, was just all
In
over
the
the trailer. So.
Yeah, the beautiful costume we see Q in the trailer and kind of sprinkled throughout season 1 Picard in this gorgeous black trench coat with a big fucking brooch.
Yeah. Again, someone just realized, he looks good in long things because he's tall.
He's
Work
also
with it.
just aged beautifully. John Delancey is a beautiful man.
I didn't realize the collar could go up so high in the back. That's
The collar,
a choice.
the collar is a very swoopy collar. I made sure to get a good from the back because he's also got this nice shiny panel.
Yeah, no, it's a damn good jacket.
He's yum. Jesus Christ.
And
We gotta start watching Picard. We need to catch up. We
do need to
We gotta
catch
get
up.
on it.
He also rocks a turtleneck.
That's true.
Yeah, I really love this costume. They do really well with it. Say what you will about Picard, Jake. They dress Q well. All right, and here's a bunch that you guys haven't seen yet. So, mind of they might be the minorest bit spoilery, but here we go. We see him as a scientist for some reason you guys will not know yet.
Again, let's pull off a turtleneck.
And again, beautiful turtleneck in this really nice blue color.
It makes me wonder if he's secretly really self-conscious about he maybe has some kind of waddle neck in there, and so he was I have to have a turtleneck in every scene in this show.
I would. They look really nice.
It looks great. I mean, either way, it's not me passing judgment. I think he looks fantastic. I'm just saying that John Delancey, since I know you listen, if you're feeling badly about your waddle, just know that we love your waddle, and you can just be your beautiful
waddle
self.
with us. But yeah, just another a good Q look. We see him briefly as a therapist. I'll not tell you why or in what context.
I think he was doing another
Freud.
voice.
I was going to ask if he was doing a Freud voice. Looks like he might have a sort of an ascot on there. It's hard to tell.
Ascot-y. I like the vest. The vest is pretty good.
Yeah, again, he looks good in the vest. So
What is an ascot called when a therapist wears it?
Is this a joke?
it feels like
Call
it is.
back to the cravat. I'm trying to figure out what a cravat would be.
Oh,
I thought that was actually going to be a really good punchline.
I was waiting for the
No,
dad
no,
joke.
There wasn't.
Well, you
Sorry,
disappointed.
No, that's okay.
It was a callback.
We're too slow to pick up on the... You tried, and we failed you.
El cravat.
Okay, we see him in this. It's really dark because there's not a good. It's all black costume.
Yeah, it's really...
It looks like
that
a
we see
suit
him in.
with,
Yeah.
with a shirt under.
Yeah,
God,
it's
look at his fucking shoulders. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, 'cause
Sorry,
it's-
this is bad. This is your fault. I had nothing to do with this. No, I mean her.
Oh!
Oh yeah, it's totally my fault.
Shit,
Yeah, he's got this great
pants.
black jacket with black undershirt. There's a little pin that I don't have a really good look at, but just a nice look on Q.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's what would look good.
What else would look good on Q? Caitlin.
That's not what I was gonna say, but you're right. When you're right, you're right. Who am I to argue?
What else have we got? Okay, this
The
is on the.
FBI Q!
We got a
This
Q.
one's silly.
A
He's got like
Q
a,
and
he's
an
got like
FBI.
a dad bod.
Yeah, I was gonna
going
say he's
there.
got his little FBI pot belly. I love it. Aww.
I don't like
He's so cute.
a short-sleeved jacket. When you can't see the short sleeves, it looks good.
I think it's rolled up.
Yeah, it's just he's got it pulled up.
But either way, I agree.
And again, he's got another nice turtley neck kind of look
I'm telling you, he must have said it's got to be all turtlenecks.
Or just someone decided for some reason the theme this time is turtlenecks on Q.
I like it, so.
Here's the twist. I don't want to spoil too much about Picard, but I think I can without spoiling too much.
Yeah.
So in this scene, FBI doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. It stands for
Fuckboy Incarnate.
Wow!
What?
I
That's
was gonna
great.
say female body inspector.
Oh, yeah.
But
I like
Fuckboy
Caitlin's.
Incarnate works
I like how
too.
quickly you came up
That
with
was
it.
amazing, actually.
That's staying in.
Helm Boy.
Incarnate.
All right, and this is from the last episode, so this dates a little bit where we are currently as we're recording. Obviously, by the time this episode is live, you'll have seen how well Picard is paid off throughout the entire season. Oh my god! Did you see when X happened at the end of the episode?
Oh my god, it was the favorite thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I watched that show.
I'm sure between
So
this
John,
episode with the FBI Q and the end, there are probably more Q looks.
If they don't have him in a
Naked Q?
Starfleet uniform at some point, they failed.
Naked Q.
If they
Hawaiian
don't have him
shirt.
say sheer fucking hubris at least once.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Nailed
Actually,
it.
I haven't noticed, has Q used the F word yet on Star Trek? Because that
He-
is a rite of passage on modern Trek.
That would feel
What?
weird. Weird for him.
Has Patrick Stewart said fuck?
Probably.
I mean, not
I
like in
haven't
his
really
life.
been
I just
paying
mean on the
that close
show.
attention.
In like the first episode of season 2, where I gets, oh my fucking back.
Dude, are you
I'm
telling me
so
they made him?
fucking sick of these Borgs.
You're telling me they made him into a robot and they didn't fix his back pain? What a bunch of horse shit.
All right.
Spoilers for Picard season 1?
Yeah.
Apparently. So what I've got up in front of us now is all of the Qs up through today's episode, the Q and the Gray. Seeing as I know Chris and Caitlin haven't yet seen the Picard episodes, but also because I just couldn't fit them all in one slide.
I mean, that's a shame, because honestly, like, I was gonna say the fucking...
If you want to say the trench coat Q,
Yeah,
you
I
can
do.
Oh,
25th
yes.
century trench coat Q.
Yes, good choice.
I also really
That's my
like-
favorite one. The one I want for myself, I want that red robe just to lounge around my house in. Like a, what do I always call myself? A luxuriant bitch.
A luxuriant bitch.
I want to hear you call yourself this.
I do frequently.
I don't think I've ever heard it. So it's
I'm
great.
usually at home when I do it.
Yeah, he lounges on the couch and he's like, I'm a luxuriant bitch. And I don't argue, because he does look very luxuriant.
And worst, obviously, is human Q fucking gray jumpsuit, green
Oh,
panel
God,
thing.
it's so bad.
See, my worst is going to be Bajoran waiter Q, because
Oh,
I
so bad.
really hate the Bajoran
that's-
costumes.
That's fair, but you just see so much more of the terrible... Like, he spends most of the episode in that
True,
outfit.
he does.
Best Q is obviously Serpent Q. No, I mean the one where you can see his dick. What are you guys talking about? No, that's actually not a good one.
Oh, I got the joke, though.
Thank you.
Good work. How about you, Jay? What are you thinking so far?
I'm really liking Judge Q. I think I like that outfit a lot.
Judge Cutie.
It's a classic.
Oh, wait. Sounds like Cutie instead of what I was going for.
Judy.
Yeah, damn.
It works.
Yeah, I think my favorite would also be Judge Q, just because it's so over the top and great.
It's a great hat with it.
Yeah.
Like that meme, she, her, they, them, cool hat.
Yes.
Least favorite, I'm probably going to have to toss up, honestly, between Bajoran and Human Q. Toss up.
Toss up.
Is that naked
tied.
Q?
They're tied. They're tied for worst.
Oh, there you go. That's my favorite. My favorite Q is Naked Q. No.
No, I'll go
It's actually
Bajoran.
not
I'll go
true.
Bajoran. 'Cause
All
Bajoran's
right,
really awesome.
Jake's just gonna take both my answers.
It's really difficult to pick which is best because they're all good, except for the ones that are not.
True. I mean, I would also give a dishonorable mention to Admiral Q with the golden garland around his neck.
The
No,
thing is,
see,
the
that's-
rest of them are so bad that like that one doesn't even come into play. Like the ones that are really bad for me are Bitch Tits Data Q, Creepy Lederhosen Package Gray Q. It almost feels like there's like a...
You're right, there is a vaguely Lederhosen vibe because of the square cut.
Yeah.
See, I stick by our headcanon from when we did the Admiral's uniforms, that's not a real Admiral's uniform, that's him making fun of them.
Okay.
So
Oh
I
yeah,
enjoy
that's
it for that
parody. It's
reason.
great.
That's-
Yeah.
It only works in retrospect because when they made this episode, they didn't know yet.
Yeah.
And I really kind of don't like the Nottingham, and I think it's really the facial hair. I just really don't dig him with the beard. Well, at least not that beard.
But wait, so which is your favorite though?
I don't.
You can say the trench coat,
I
from
do
Picard.
like the trench coat.
Chris is saying the trench coat from
I am.
Picard, so Caitlin's over here like biting her thumb.
But not at you.
How about 16th century Q if you took off the wig?
No, definitely not that. The breastplate ruins it.
Mm.
I really like his World War II uniform. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not a military type of gal, but he looks good as fuck in that shit. I don't know. I guess I do have to just say 25th century Q.
Do it. It's a great look.
Damn.
I'll see if I can squeeze it into this slide just for fun.
Slap it across the entire thing so you can sort of see little pieces of the rest of them. That's mostly just him and that fucking...
Yeah. Oh,
So
what was your least?
Yeah, you threw out some candidates, but...
I don't know. These are difficult decisions. It's probably Lederhosen. I feel like that's the worst.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it really makes me... It makes me angry because it should be my favorite because I can see the most of his dick in that outfit. And yet, it's so bad that
It's really bad,
I can't
but
appreciate
works
it.
in that context because he was supposed to be pathetic, and
Yeah, but good God.
Yeah, when the other Q shows up in the same costume and says, "Why are we wearing this?" and Q says, "I don't know. It's awful, right?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, it's real awful."
It's really
And then I think to myself, "Then why are you wearing it?"
The Bajoran waiter is pretty bad too, though.
All right, well, thank you for listening to all our Q conversations. I hope we get to see lots more Q because I'm always a big fan.
Eddington.
Why?
Eddington is possibly Canadian because
Oh.
he had his lucky loony.
Did he? I forgot about that.
Wasn't that a thing?
I don't remember.
Our elocutions.
I think there was a loony involved.
Maybe.
Weird. Anyway, we're not going to be talking about this anymore next week. Wow, I know, we're all surprised.
Look
We
at
probably will, because we're nuts like that. But next week, the other things we're talking about is more Voyager stuff. The next episodes we're covering are going to be Macrocosm and Fair Trade. So definitely join us next week for that, and for whatever our next blogtivity is going to be.
Ooh.
Join us then. You can read about this blogtivity and all of our other amazing blogtivities over on our Tumblr. Check out all these great Q screenshots and drool over them as we have been doing. And read up on all of our other activities. We got fanfics up there. We got seasons, hops and bottoms up there. Check them all out. Listen to all of our other episodes over on SoundCloud or your favorite Star Trek app. Sure. Play some timelines, because then you can see more Qs over there. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. They just added a new feature that's going to be cool.
Ooh.
What else do we do? We're on the Facebook, we're on the Tumblr, we're on the Twitter, we're on all those things. We're also right here, but we're going to be leaving for today. This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
Jay.
This is always Chris.